So, with the updated mechanics in the 2024 core rulebooks and so many great third-party options available for D&D, a lot of tables, ours included, have made some adjustments in house rules to how they run the game.
In this video, we're sharing our top house rules that we've playtested, refined, and stuck with over the years, which make the game flow better and more fun for everyone.
Whether you are a veteran dungeon master or prepping your very first campaign, we think these rules are worth using at your table. Best of all, they're such simple tweaks that before you belong, you're going to forget they're even house rules.
And if you decide to use any of these rules in your game, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this every week. There's a lot to discuss today, so let's get rolling.
Sometimes the biggest challenge for DMs is finding an adventure that really feels dynamic, where the player's choices genuinely matter and the system actually supports that.
We were so excited when this week's sponsor, Son of Oak Game Studio, reached out to us because we've actually been huge fans of their work well before they even contacted us to be a sponsor.
And their latest game really exemplifies all these kind of things that we're talking about. Legend of the Mist is this rustic fantasy tabletop RPG based on their acclaimed City of Mist system.
I actually picked up the core book myself a while ago when it was on Kickstarter, just because the artwork caught my eye and I was immediately drawn in and I had to get it for myself. It gives you that classic rustic fantasy feeling, something like Lord of the Rings meets Princess Mononoke, two of my favorite stories in the world, as these unlikely heroes embark on a perilous journey.
But diving into the book itself, what really sold me on it is how the system handles player choices. There's this narrative-focused, keyword-based tag system. When you build your character sheet, you're not just crunching numbers, you're actually building your character using these descriptive tags, and then you evoke those to gain bonuses, and sometimes you have to deal with the negatives as well.
There's been some chatter online, and people are saying your backstory is your character sheet, and I love that line. The entire game is built around players' choices, and their characters can dramatically transform and evolve based on the decisions they make. There's cinematic dilemmas baked right into the game.
I just really love that is the framework of the whole system, and best of all, there's support for solo and co-op modes, so you can play Legend in the Mist without a dedicated narrator.
If you want to try it out for yourself, they have this incredible free 50-page graphic novel adventure PDF that teaches you the rules in minutes. It was even hailed by PC Gamer as the cleverest way of teaching you the rules I've ever seen.
Honestly, it's really cool and a lot of fun to try this for yourself. You get to play as Garen, a deer stalker on a quest to find the rhyme thistle. Doesn't take long at all, and it's just a wonderful little way to play an RPG for yourself. So go check it out.
Head on over to sonofoak.com and download your Learn to Play Legend in the Mist comic book adventure free. And if you love it, the full Legend of the Mist core book is available for PDF, and you can pre-order the physical book and get the PDF instantly. We bought into this well before they were even a sponsor. We were just big fans of the artwork, the storytelling. It's a great system and a great RPG, and we're so excited to have them sponsoring the channel.
So be sure to check them out at sonofoak.com or follow the links down in the description below.
First off, we're going to talk about maximizing your critical hits. Few things feel worse than rolling snake eyes on a pivotal critical hit. Instead of the normal rules for critical hit damage, which double the dice rolled, this easy-to-use rule ensures every crit is a really awesome moment at your table.
Here's how it works. When you score a critical hit, you roll your attack's damage dice, then take the maximum value of those dice, plus any relevant modifiers, add them all together, and that is your total damage.
For example, you have a 20 strength and are attacking with a greatsword, which deals 2d6 plus your strength mod in damage. A critical hit deals 2d6 plus 12 plus 5 damage. You roll your 2d6 as normal, then add 12, the max value of 2d6, plus your strength modifier.
If you've been following our channel for a while, you'll know that this is one of our favorite and long-standing tried and true house rules. I've seen a lot of people recently calling this rule the Perkins crit, named for one of the former designers of D&D 5e. I'm not sure if Chris Perkins was the first one to actually use this rule, though. Frankly, we've been using this rule since before we ever heard the term Perkins crit. It's very similar to how critical hits actually worked in 4th edition, where you got to roll and also got the best case outcome as well. You got extra dice based on the modifier of your magic items. I think that this just is an exciting rule to use.
The rule works with most class features too. For instance, a rogue with 3d6 sneak attack and an 18 dex attacking with a dagger does 1d4 plus dex mod damage, would crit for 1d4 plus 3d6 plus 22 plus 4. That's one roll each for the weapon and sneak attack, plus 22 from the max value of 1d4 plus 3d6, plus the rogue's dex modifier.
But players, watch out. This rule applies for monsters too. So a fire giant's flame sword becomes 4d6 plus 3d6 plus 49 on a critical hit, an average about 75 damage total. Although I will say, when I run most monsters, I just use their average damage on the
I
stat
double it
block,
when I
and then I
crit.
just double it on a crit. So it's a little bit more merciful on the DM side.
We've heard some people fear that this rule is too powerful for already powerful characters. Some people fear that rogues and paladins can exploit this crit rule a little too much. But the chance of a crit is still rare enough, and we've had rogues and paladins at a lot of our tables. And rolling a crit feels special enough that making it an impactful and celebratory moment for the players has never once steered us wrong or disrupted the flow of our games. It's been such a positive experience for the whole table when everybody gets to rejoice, high five, and yell critical hit or whatever it is that they do. I've never seen this go wrong at our table.
Yeah, sometimes it does let the players burst down a boss a little bit faster than you might be anticipating because bosses tend to go all in on that. But I think the pros vastly outweigh the cons.
Next up, we have full action healing potions. Drinking a healing potion is a bonus action under the 2024 rules. This is an example of what was a popular house rule becoming so commonplace, it was just baked into the core rules. In 2014 rules, you had to use a full action to drink or administer a potion. 2024 makes potions easier to use now, but still subject to low rolls.
Because of that, we've decided to keep our house rule that if a character uses their full action to drink a healing potion, they regain the maximum amount possible. So, for example, a basic potion of healing, which does 2d4 plus 2 hit points, when you use your full action to drink it, you regain 10 hit points. I actually think that I saw a lot of people saying that this double-sided rule of the bonus action and the full action, that started in the comments, I think, when we first talked about this
Yeah.
rule.
And really, this rule actually, because of the double-edged sword of do you use your bonus action or your full action, it rewards players who slow down and spend their action to get guaranteed value, but it adds tactical flexibility. You get to choose which one you're going to do. Use your bonus action for a quick fix or your action for a full recovery. It also helps characters heal up outside of combat since they can chug down those potions much more effectively.
So this next one is more of an honorable mention. It's not so much a house rule per se, but it's how we handle older 2014 material and third-party content in our games. So in our campaigns going forward, we're going to allow both 2014 and 2024 material to be used together, and players can even mix and match between them, with the caveat that if any specific option has been updated for 2024, like a feat, a spell, or a subclass, the updated version takes precedence at our table. So you can't use the old version of Great Weapon Master and Sharpshooter. You got to use the new versions.
We personally fully support content from third-party publishers, including ourselves. All of our Dungeon Dudes material is fair game at our table, including the Apothecary class, new spells, feats, and subclass options that we created for Sebastian Crow's Guide to Drakenheim, as well as monsters, magic items, and villains from Monsters of Drakenheim.
You can bring these cool rules that some cool dudes wrote to your table as well. All of our books are published with Ghostfire Gaming, and they're available in print, PDF. You can get Roll20 modules, you can get Foundry modules. You can also get the Any award-winning adventure, Dungeons of Drakenheim, on D&D Beyond, as well as getting Monsters of Drakenheim on D&D Beyond, and there's a cool D&D Beyond exclusive adventure as well that you can get them all together in a bundle if you're using D&D Beyond.
And with so many third-party publishers now officially supported on D&D Beyond, it's easier than ever to bring their content to your table. If you're curious to explore the world of Drakenheim, check out our books. And if you want to use material from other third-party creators, regardless of whose third-party content you're using, just talk to your DM first to make sure it fits your campaign.
Check out the links below, or hit up dungeondudes.com to get awesome new material for your game. best of all, you'll be supporting the channel whenever you pick up one of our books. So thanks so much.
Now, on to the next house rule. D&D has long had fiddly rules about how many items a character can hold, when you can draw or stow them, what kind of action that takes, and it often leads to a ton of confusion, especially for martial characters. If a dual-wielding ranger wants to sheathe their two short swords and draw out their longbow and shoot a dragon, how many actions is that supposed to take?
Okay, so I checked with Colby and Chris, D4 Deep Dive and Tree at Monk's Temple, respectively. Amazing channels, check them out. And confirm this. Rules as written. A character can equip or unequip one weapon each time they make an attack as part of the attack action. They also get one free interaction per turn they can use to draw or stow objects. But anything beyond that means you have to take the utilize action. So a character that is holding two melee weapons that wants to switch to a bow because there is nothing in melee range for them to attack has to spend a whole turn putting away their weapons and pulling out their bow. And then they have to wait till they don't even get to pull out their bow
Until the next turn.
until the next turn.
Because that's part of the attack action.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So then they get to pull out their bow and start shooting because your hands have to be free to do that.
Now, I've heard it so many times online. Some people are going to say, well, you can simply drop your weapons for free and pull out your bow to smooth, or you can smooth this out taking dual wielder. I also hate the dropping your weapons. I think that slows the game down. It feels immersion breaking.
Yeah.
There's no situation where I'm a fighter and I'm like, I'm fighting you with my swords, and then I'm just going to be like, whoop, there they go. Now I can. It's silly.
Yeah, I actually did side point. I have kind of immersed myself in some fencing videos a lot lately. And Sellsword Arts did a video where they had someone with a bow switching to a sword when someone else was running at them with a sword, and they found that you can put away a bow and draw a sword to parry an attack with someone charging at you in real life.
Yeah.
So like switching items and not dropping them is surprisingly quick. So like, I don't know, but it's not about realism. It's about how it feels, and it feels dumb to have to track all this
This
stuff.
is one of my least favorite rules, and it's one that we just throw in the trash. So here is our simple fix for how this house rule works. A character may unequip any weapons or stow any items they are holding, then equip another weapon before or after taking the attack action. Similarly, a character may stow any items they are holding and draw another item before or after taking the magic or utilize action. In short, all of this just means they can do what they want and put the item that they want in their hands.
Yeah, so the ranger can sheath the swords, draw an attack with their bow, all with a single action. You want to pop a healing potion after that as a bonus action, go ahead. As a DM, I just do not care. Holster your crossbow, draw your sword, put away your shield. Like, whatever the action is that you want to do, I am not going to stop you from doing that action based on what was in your hands at the start of your turn. I just don't care. And a lot of the fiddly other RPG systems that make you track this stuff, I have bounced hard off of those games because I just have no interest in this.
Honestly, we've been using this in our games forever, both at my table, Monty's table. Nobody's ever complained about it. It's never hurt our games. This has made our games more action-packed and exciting. It's diminished time at the table spent asking for clarification on who's holding what and stopping players from doing what they want on their turn because they forgot they were holding their rope in their hands when initiative was rolled. It's simple, it's effective, and it's highlighted fun and excitement in our games, and that's all positive for me.
And some people say like, but this makes like feats like dual wielder and warcaster less valuable because it
No, it doesn't.
No, people are still going to take those feats.
We always have.
Yeah.
So we've been using this at our table, and we still religiously take warcaster and dual wielder for the other purposes that they serve. So it doesn't diminish those feats at all. And nobody should be worrying or like lecturing players for like, well, you're holding two swords, you can't shoot that guy. Like, let them shoot the guy.
So speaking of other messes in the rules that need to get cleaned up in 2024, the stealth rules in 2024 kind of are confusing garbage.
I don't like them.
And there's a couple other things in the glossary that just need to be like fixed over. So basically, the rules for hiding the invisible condition and as a side note, like a gap in the stun condition are all things that we fixed in our table. So with hide, rules as written said that hiding gives you the invisible condition. And to me, on paper, that makes it. I think new players read this and they think, oh, so the hiding is like the invisibility spell. It's like World of Warcraft rogues turning invisible. And I just think that that is confusing. And it's created this whole order of operations issue. So the invisible condition that's in the 2024 books, I think the best way to think about that is cross out invisible and write hidden.
Yeah.
And then if you have a spell that refers to invisible, grab the invisible condition from the 2014 rules and bring it back in.
Which is an invisible creature is impossible to see without the aid of magic or a special sense for the purposes of hiding. Yeah, the creature's heavily obscured, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So that kind of just cleans it all up. This helps distinguish between sneaking and spellcasting and clarifies how creatures can be perceived or targeted. And we think that's really important for the game.
Yeah, there is some stuff about like there's the old bug with the 2014 invisible that if someone could see you because they have magic to see you, they still had disadvantages to attack you because of the way the invisible condition was worded.
Right.
You still have to smooth that over too. That's fine though. Like we never ran it that way anyways. And then the other kind of like bug in the rules glossary is that apparently the stun condition at time of writing, you can still move when you're stunned.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
Okay.
Your speed's 0 when you're stunned.
Yeah. Okay, another big one for me is the backgrounds. I really do enjoy the backgrounds in 2024, and they do talk about creating your own backgrounds, but they don't make it clear and easy. We let players create custom backgrounds using the 2024 rules with some leeway to support character flavor.
It's weird that custom backgrounds aren't presented in the PHB because the DMG lays out how a DM can design their own backgrounds, but it's silent on whether or not the players can actually do this themselves. And D&D Beyond actually doesn't really support making custom backgrounds with the 2024 rules yet, at least time of recording. So I really hope they fix this because we wanted to make some characters with custom backgrounds and it was a little bit frustrating to do.
Yeah, you have to pick which sections of other backgrounds you're going to use for your custom background. And I think that you should just be able to make your own using these rules. So you're going to increase one ability score by 2, then increase another by 1, or if you want, any 3 by 1. You choose any origin feat. You gain 2 skill proficiencies of your choice. You gain 1 tool proficiency of your choice. And then you assemble a package of equipment worth 50 GP, including unspent gold. Despite the severe lack of core rules supporting custom backgrounds,
it's pretty obvious how to do it.
Yeah.
The
template's there.
Yeah. I think that this gives players just the freedom of choice that they want. Like, we want to be able to freely choose what ability score boost we want. We want to freely choose what origin feat we want. We want to freely choose what skills we want, and then make up whatever theme we want. Like,
I shouldn't have to be a farmer to get tough.
Yeah, there's no background that you can take for a paladin that gives you the choice between strength, charisma, and constitution, and then also gives you a feat that you want to take as a paladin.
So let people make their own backgrounds. I don't see any harm in this.
No.
Maybe you're a drifting scholar who has wandered the world and you want both wisdom, but also, I don't know, dexterity. Maybe you want the magic initiate origin feat.
Yeah.
So do it. I think that there's not really any downside to this. I don't think players are going to be too powerful because they got the origin feat of their choice and the stats that they want. Like, no.
It's totally fine. It's weird how we had all this like awesome flexibility with Tasha's.
Yeah.
And then both the backgrounds as presented by either not making sure that there was enough of them to cover like every possible combination, or by not giving like the inbuilt rules to just customize this. It also, like, I know a lot of people have felt it's weirdly restrictive as presented in the books.
Yeah.
But the good news is that it's very easy to fix and that's how.
So those are our house rules that we are using at our table. Maybe you should be using at your table. And they've served us very well. We've had no issues in our games. We've had a lot of fun. And really, a lot of these have amplified the fun at our table.
Yeah, like, we use them so much and they become so embedded into the way that we play that it's jarring when someone else doesn't use them
Yeah,
and I
if
play
I
with
was
them.
playing at a table and they were like, sorry, you got to stow those, I'd be like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, yeah,
What are you talking?
or, like, I just assume that I can make a custom background,
Yeah.
like, I've never seen anyone object to it, but, um, I just assume that. The crit rule is very commonplace. The potion rule, I think, is probably the one that when I play with other people, they're like, "Oh, I use this rule." I have to explain it because they don't usually, although usually it turns out that they were always drinking potions as bonus actions.
Yeah.
Yep.
But there are many house rules out there that actually do benefit the game. Some house rules don't, but tell me about your favorite house rules. What are the house rules that you've lived by for maybe years, ever since 2014, even before that? Sometimes we've even grabbed things from 4E or 3.5E and we've brought it over
Or other games.
or other games
Yeah,
completely.
yeah.
And
I
so
think there's a lot on the DM side of things of how you
yeah.
adjudicate things. Like, fortunately, things like degrees of success and success at a cost aren't house rules anymore because they're actually in the DMG.
Yeah, but we
So
definitely were using those. Like,
yeah,
I still, like, from the moment I started DMing, I'll set a DC in my head and I'll be like, the DC is 15, and somebody will roll like a 14, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll give it to them
yeah,
at a cost, whatever,
yeah,
close enough. And that's just something
yeah.
I borrowed from like experiencing it in other games.
I
But
would say that this is the distinction. We chose a lot of the player-facing house rules
yeah,
this time around, so I'd be also curious to hear, like, what are your, like, DM things that you do behind the screen? Like,
oh,
do
as
you
a
use
DM,
minions, right?
I'm such a house rule DM. I think
Yeah,
both of us are. Like, we flex the rules a lot when we're DMing
yeah.
to just whatever suits the narrative and the needs. But that's a whole different story. Tell us about your favorite house rules that you use in the comments below.
The videos that we make on our channel are made possible thanks to our incredible Patreon supporters. We have a really cool Patreon with lots of great benefits for you for supporting our channel, including getting access to all of our YouTube videos a week before they go live here on YouTube, getting extra rules content and subclasses and new spells and feats in our Eldritch experiments, and exclusive actual plays just for our patrons DM'd by Kelly where I get to play. So if all that sounds of interest to you, hit up our Patreon. Links are right down below.
And if you want to see us using all of these house rules in play and how they actually look in a game, you can check out our actual play in the Worlds of Drakenheim, which airs Tuesday evenings right here on YouTube. You can check out all the previous episodes right up over here.
And of course, we got plenty more analysis of the rules of D&D and more right up over here.
Please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and ring that bell so that you never miss an episode.
Thanks so much for watching. See you next time
In the dungeon.